that kind of snowballed. But just to give you a little backstory, is that NK, the showrunner of the show, we met prior, like 10, 15 years before I got on the show.
Word.
She wrote her first script for Bones, where I played a young man from Sierra Leone who's an amputee.
Wow.
That's when I met NK. And I worked on Bones for like a month, which is unreal because it was only a guest star role, maybe a couple of days, but everybody kept getting sick. So they prolonged it. But that's how me and NK became super cool. And then one of the other writers, Jamie Turner, we met 17 years prior when I did The Shield.
Yeah.
Where I auditioned 17 times.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, you talked about
17 times.
17 times on The Shield. And then the 17th time I get it and I end up doing like 3 seasons on there. So me and Jamie Turner at that time, he was a story editor on the show. Me and him locked in because in this business it was hard.
For sure.
You literally watch his character grow in front of your eyes, man. And it's been truly a blessing.
Wow.
I don't take any of this for granted, man. And like I said, it just doesn't happen. The shows that started when we started are no longer on air.
Right.
That's crazy.
Right.
And that touches on a story going to what you were saying, like the two things, importance of networking and building relationships, right?
Yeah.
That's like one of the main things telling the youth.
For sure.
Younger cats. It's like, dude, you don't know who you're talking to.
Yeah.
You don't never know what opportunity may arise later down. And then we live in a small world.
For sure. Very small.
Very small world. And we're under the microscope.
Yep.
So that's one thing that's very important. But let's talk about how you maximize your opportunities.
Yeah.
Because that's like preparation meets opportunity equals luck or success or whatever.
17 times.
17 times.
Fair.
So when you got the shot, you said on the first one and the second one, they ended up being more than what they were originally supposed to be.
For sure.
Let's talk to that. Like,
yeah, man, it was just like you said, just preparing, man, and showing up. You know, when I go around and talk to kids and young teens, I say show up, but show up as yourself.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and do the work.
Do the work.
You know what I'm saying? I think when you show up and do the work is going to speak for you. You know what I mean? And that's what it was for me because I love what I do. I love the craft. I came to work and I showed up and showed out. You know, it's that old saying, you know your lines, hit your marks, and you get out of there.
Right.
And my professionalism truly showed up each and every time I was on set. Like every time I came up on set, everybody got a greeting from me.
I'm not here to play around.
No, from below the line, craft services, to the drivers, to the PAs,
no, I'm glad,
to everybody.
I'm glad you said that. You got to build on that because I think there's a popular narrative, especially in LA or New York, where people who are trying to get on think that you have to treat others like this star power.
Right.
No.
But it's like everybody I've known, that the more famous they get, the more like nice and welcoming, warm,
humble
energy.
Yeah.
You're like, now I see how they want you on this set, in this project, and
for sure.
Like that's
nobody wants to work with a jackass
for 18 hours almost.
For 18 hours
a day.
Right.
Nobody wants to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He's not as good as him, but I like being around.
And to that point, it's a nightmare for directors.
Right.
For
like,
sure.
Nobody want to deal with that on set.
Yeah.
These divas or these guys with these diva mentalities.
Yeah.
Of being super like, I'm this special person. I'm like, bruh.
And the thing is, remember, I started in a business in the 80s. So it was that. It was, I started off as an extra and it was like, don't look at the stars. Don't look at you don't touch them. Don't go over there. Don't do nothing. And it was just like, okay, you know what I mean? And from me learning that and seeing that, I was just like, if I'm ever in that position, I want to do the opposite of that. I want to talk to the background actors because I know how that feels. And having somebody who is number 1 or number 1 through 5 on a call sheet, that's the important people.
Yeah, for sure.
1 through 5 on a call sheet to say something or have some type of words of just acknowledgement.
Speaking life into them.
Speaking life and just acknowledging them.
That goes a long way.
Though it goes a long way.
Absolutely.
And what you just said, it's about being nice.
Right.
And I think that's a lost, forgotten art of just simply showing up and being nice. It doesn't
sure.
cost you anything to say
Kind
hello.
gestures.
Kind gestures.
Yeah.
It's not about kissing ass or anything, but literally a kind gesture. Hey, how you doing today?
Right.
Just acknowledgement.
Just that simple, yeah, for sure.
Me seeing you and acknowledging you to be like, oh, okay, all right, cool. And also, too, you never know what that person is dealing with.
That was a high for you.
Oh, for sure.
And a story for them when they went home.
Yeah, for
You know,
sure.
like-
No, absolutely.
Like, it's a story for them when they go home.
Yeah.
Like, no. I talked to Kareem Grimes.
Yeah.
We were eating. He said, no, you can get in front of me.
Yes.
They say like, oh, he was so cool. He was cool.
And it's crazy.
You know?
I do that. Like, they be like, all right, actors in the front. I'll be like, if somebody's there already, I'll be like, man,
Yeah.
I ain't tripping. Go.
Yeah.
Right,
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, I'm going to eat regardless.
You know, I thought was an interesting story too. You said how being here and then you got acclimated into Palisades,
Yeah.
right? That life, and then after, I'm not sure what the words you used. You say, okay, then you infiltrated the Bloods when you came back to Dorsey.
Oh, yes. What? Dog, here's a story. Here is. I'm glad you talked on that. So, as a younger kid, see, I grew up in Leimert Park.
Okay.
Born and raised in Inglewood, 99th and Crenshaw. Lived off of Jefferson and Buckingham. Really, as a young man, grew up in Leimert Park. I stayed right on Creed.
Okay.
So if you from LA, you know that's the 40s.
Yeah.
Period. So I went to 42nd Street school. You know what I mean? Right up the street. So I dealt with that part. And then I went to Hillcrest. If you know Hillcrest, that's in the middle of the jungles. I went to Hillcrest
Hillcrest
Magnet.
Kindergarten.
Kindergarten.
I went from 3rd through 6th.
Yeah, I think I was there for maybe 4th and 5th grade, but that I was in the magnet program. That's why I picked up clarinet and trumpet.
Okay.
But
And I played clarinet.
there you go. But I went
I
to
played
school.
trumpet.
Come on, look at that. Come on, man.
We just become best friends.
Come on, man. Are we
Yes.
Look, are we a quartet?
Yes. Do you want to play karate in the garage? Yes.
Are we a quartet now?
Right.
Starting the
Hillcrest
band. Hillcrest boys. But I went to school with T. Rogers' sons.